Bay Area Compass. Located at BayAreaCompass.blogspot.com.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Don Julio giving that fire content. Once again, I'm representing Bay Area Compass, and I'm my boy RBL Posse, aka Black C. How you doing, my brother?
What's up with you, man?
Thank you for joining our platform.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, my friend?
Man, good, man.
Good, good energy all around.
Yes, sir. Enjoying this lovely day.
What's new? What's new in the life of RBL Posse?
A lot of things, man. Working on the book. Right now as we speak, the Ruthless by Law story, man. That I'm putting together with a partner of mine, and besides that, man, just moving merchandise and shows and licensing deals, stuff like that.
Now, you've been hustling for a very, very long time. I've been seeing things that have been going past 10 years when I've been researching your files and everything. Mm-hmm. What gives you that drive to continue to keep pushing this type of art and culture?
Just the love of it, just the culture, man. Just been ever since I was a youngster in the '80s, Run DMC and them, when they first just sparked that bug in me, just seeing them, they motivated me a lot, wearing the Adidas with no shoestrings in them. And also, just losing Mr. C and Hitman in the process make me want to keep, just motivate me to keep that torch lit for them.
Was that kind of like a switch that was like, all right, now I can't do it, because then they kind of leave when I stop doing it?
Yeah, you know what I mean? And if I ain't doing it, I feel like ain't nobody going to do it. So it's like, at one point I did want to give up on it, because I came in the game mainly as a producer and not a rapper. So, I was using Mr. C as the lead man, when it came to the rapping, because that's what he did, and that was like second nature to me behind the music, so making the beats and all that. So, yeah, when I lost him, it was kind of like, I got to keep this torch lit, man. A lot of my guys in the camp was like, man, you got to keep it going. But I wanted to throw the towel in and just get into like producing and executive producing, rather, like putting out groups instead of me actually rapping in one. So yeah, that just kicked it in the drive and motivated me, and had me like, hold on, I can still do this without him.
So when you started coming up, when you were younger and started putting out these songs and everything, when did you start seeing like, oh wow, people are really viewing my sound, my group is getting all this, people say clout now. Like, when did you start seeing that RBL Posse could be that guy?
It was before RBL, actually. It was when I was working with my brother Dre Hype. He actually my hype man now, who actually fill in for Mr. C.
Okay.
He was our hype man back when Mr. C was alive. He just took on a more prominent position now, but back then when I was working with him and T-Lo, this guy named T-Lo, who's a rapper also from my neighborhood in Budweiser, I would actually start producing, making the beats, and I was just seeing how it was just taking off. Like, everybody around the neighborhood was coming to the house asking for a copy of the songs that I might press up, probably like, well, not press, but I might record. We had the dual deck back then, cassette tapes, and I record from one deck to another a couple of songs and give them out around the neighborhood, and people start coming, knocking on the door like, man, I want a copy of that song you just did with BayArea. I want a copy of that song you did with T-Lo or Budweiser. So I knew I had something in, you know what I mean? This was like a couple years before Mr. C arrived. We was doing our thing. I wasn't rapping yet. And then, I ended up playing around in the studio, doing a couple songs myself. And, once I put my stuff out, people really just took to it and just was like, bro, your beats, because I was sample heavy. I made a lot of original stuff, but then I started getting into sampling a lot of Funkadelic, George Clinton, all in Parliament, Rick James, a lot of that. So once I seen people was taking to my production, was loving it, I knew I had something, you know what I mean?
So what are you and your group currently working on right now?
Right now, I'm actually just doing a bunch of shows, but as far as new projects, H2MG AR, that's my little cousin, my young comrade, who he got a new album out called Snakes and Ladders. That's what we actually pushing right now, currently. So
where can people find that?
All the links on this page. Just go follow him at H2MG_AR, and just go to his page and just he got all the links, because it's actually a new project he actually promoting too, an H2MG Young Shot, So they doing their thing. It's a whole H2MG movement that they pushing right now, and that's up under the RBL umbrella. It ain't got RBL Presents or nothing like that on it, but it's definitely under our umbrella, and I co-sign both of the projects. So yeah, anything H2MG, they got their own movement going on, man, aside from the RBL Posse, and them, like, they carrying the torch right now for RBL. So yeah, I co-sign everything they doing. But as far as RBL Posse ourselves, like I say, I'm doing a bunch of licensing deals with skateboard companies. Did a couple joint ventures with people like LRG on the clothing and stuff like that. So Fresh Clothing. We did a licensing deal with Thrasher and a few other skateboard places, man. There's a few things that's going on too. I can't speak on, but we got a few people who using our music, redoing it and stuff like that. So it's been looking good lately, man. And also, they can go get some of that merchandise, RBL Posse, anything from the Don't Give Me No Bammer shirts to the Bluebird shirts to the RBL regular official merch at rblposse.com, and I'll scroll over to the store. So man, it's been lovely. We got a couple big shows coming up too. We got a show in Fresno. If people want to check that out, August 24th with Spice One, Yuck Mouth, and the Loonies, and Drew Down. And a week after that, we got a show coming up with DJ Quick, MC8, Sibo, and Spice One. So yeah, we just been staying busy, staying on the road, and just trying to interact with the fans more often, trying to get people to follow us as much as they can on our social media platforms, and just trying to stay busy.
Would you consider yourself a legend?
I leave that up to the fans. I mean, I really don't consider myself, but they put us in that category. Saying that we was pioneers in the Bay Area, especially when it comes to the groups and stuff like that.
You kind of made your own movement.
Right, exactly. So, it's up to the fans to say, man, you know what I mean? I might use the hashtag here and there, but really I leave that up to the fans to, to argue about.
Who are some of your inspirations that got you into the music, and maybe some people that you've worked with as well?
Like as far as, I got different types of influences. When it comes to like the beat making, it was like Code 187, from Butter Law. I was influenced by producers like Dr. Dre, stuff like that. And when it comes to like more like the rap side of things, it was like 415, the group 415 that Richie Rich and them was a part of back in the days. Coog Nut, and even back to my boy Budweiser. He was one of the first rappers up there in Hunters Point that as far as from our turf, our block, Harbor Road, that did his thing. So if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even went and bought equipment and got busy, So yeah, I look at it as I got just two different types of influences when it comes to it. My production side and
the rap side.
The rap side, yeah.
Gotcha. Can you speak a little bit about the clothing brand? And I see the hat, obviously. I've seen some other designs and everything. Do you have a hand in what designs are made in the clothing, or who really works on that?
Yeah, I do everything.
You do everything?
Everything. I get with the designers who do the logos, and some of them came on the fluke, like the Bluebird, when there was a guy on the internet who just actually made it and did him a shirt, and I was just like, oh man, that Bluebird, he was a fan. He was just like, man, I just wanted to do something for y'all.
Oh, that's dope.
As far as with Bluebird, because that's like my favorite song, and I was just like, man, that logo is dope, and I was like, man, I'm ready to buy it off you, and go on and trademark it and put it out. And we ended up discussing the price. He slid it to me, and it was on from there. But as far as the Bammer Weed one, I came up with that. Came up with the RBL. We got like a RBL box logo that we always use. So that was pretty much easy. Just something that came from our album covers, and a bunch of album cover artwork that we put out. But yeah, I got a hand in everything. I'm pretty much designing and pressing it up myself. Everything is for me.
Well, every group needs a leader. Would you consider yourself a leader? I know you don't want to put labels on anything, but
yeah, I'm most definitely the leader when it comes to RBL. Anything that had to do with the right way production, RBL Posse, and Hitman, NOH, me putting out the groups, choreographing everything, organizing everything, handling the business. I mean, yeah, most definitely the leader.
If you weren't doing music and like your other, investments that you put yourself in, what would you be doing?
I don't know. If I wasn't doing music, ain't no telling where I would have been going, because I got into music when I was about 16, 17, and I was on my way out of high school. I didn't even graduate, so I didn't have a passion for nothing else. As soon as music came, I knew that's what I wanted to. As soon as it came in my life, when Budweiser brought it to me about getting equipment, and I just knew that's what I wanted to do. I didn't really have a passion for nothing else. I wasn't like, oh yeah, I wanted to be a lawyer or a doctor, or yeah, I want to, work heavy equipment, be a heavy equipment operator, or get into construction. I didn't have nothing like that. Mainly, I went from hustling, went to juvenile, got out of Log Cabin Ranch, this boys' ranch, from hustling and doing the little gang banging stuff, and from there I went directly into the music, and I loved it. So I don't know, maybe it would have been in sales, since I was doing a bunch of that when I was on the street, because I definitely was moving product, when I was out there. So ain't no telling, man. I probably would have been some type of salesman or something, selling something.
Well, if I had you as a cold caller, man, I probably would answer that call.
Right.
Buy your product, man, for sure.
Yes, sir.
So, man, millions of views on your songs. Like, did you ever take a step back and be like, damn, like, people really clicking my stuff?
Yeah, when I actually got on YouTube, because a lot of that stuff, our stuff, I didn't even know. It's just like the public own it. It's just like we wasn't on there. I wasn't aware of YouTube. I wasn't on social media. So we had a bunch of fan pages that was made. But our fans was real cool. As soon as we would reach out to them and be like, hey, tag us in this, or this is my page, put us inside the information, let people be able to, they was cool. Even when I tried to get RBLPosse.com, it was a dude that had it. And once I let him know who I was, he was just like, oh, bro, you can have this at no charge. I was just holding it because, I'm a big fan, and I just wanted to put something up, RBL Posse. So, yeah, and it was the same thing when it came to, like, Twitter, the IG, the whole Instagram thing. It was fans that I had already had at RBL Posse, but they gave it up instantly as soon as they knew who I was. And just like, man, we big fans. We just was, trying to at least have y'all presence felt on here, because y'all wasn't on here. So,
man, you feel the love when you
oh yeah, it's always love, man. Our fans, one thing about our fans, man, they rock with us heavy, you know what I mean? And we got a big Latino following. Much love to them, because they've been keeping the torch lit for us for a long time, man. For a long time. They loyal fans, Yeah. So like I said, August 24th.
August 24th.
In Fresno. We're gonna be in Fresno August 24th, and after that we will be in September 6th. We'll be in Rounard Park, out there, and then September 7th. The next day we'll be in Granada, California. That's kind of up there, kind of almost by Portland. And after that, we'll be in Arizona.
Nice.
Yeah, that's September 14th.
Have you changed your sound since when you first started your first project? What's the name of your first project again?
A Lesson to Be Learned.
A Lesson to Be Learned?
Yeah.
To compare to like some of the way you've been approaching your new sound now? Have you changed it a lot?
Yeah, it's changed a lot. That's just because back then we was using samples, and we was more kind of, I'll say, sounding like NWA almost, the way we was doing the production with a bunch of scratches and stuff coming in, different samples. But then even on our second album, we kind of got away from that. Our second album is different from our first album, and the third album is different from the second album, and it just just a maturing process, And I just feel like me as a solo artist, me going solo, I was able to do something. It's just really more me. You know what I mean? I'm more into the mob funk sound. Like when Mr. C was around, he was more into jazz.
Yeah.
And more of the smooth samples, I would say, more like the Patrice Rushen type stuff like that. Roberta Flack, he was into more of that type of stuff. And me, I'm more into like the Rick Jameses, like I say, Parliament, Funkadelic, Zap. That was more of me. So now that Mr. C been gone, me on my solo stuff, it's kind of more of that, along the lines of that. I mean, I tried to go that route a little bit, like when I did my solo project called 70s Baby. I had more of a soulful feel on there, a lot of samples, soulful samples, stuff like that on there. But yes, it's totally different than the RBL stuff. Me, as far as my music is now, my solo stuff. Yes, it's. I wouldn't say it's a big difference because I've always been a producer. So even with me not producing, I pick beats like stuff that I would kind of produce or sound like is kind of in my lane. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't veer too far left of what I'm used to doing. And just much love to the fans. You know, shout out to the whole H2MG camp. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody who working with me, as far as even my lawyer, Ty Gaskin, one love. I want to shout out Buddy. You know, we doing a joint venture too. We got our own strain coming out real soon. You know, we locking it in. And we got a No Bammer strain coming out. The name we gonna release later on after the deal was locked in. But yeah, shout out to everybody, man, that's been riding around, rocking out with us, man. Especially the fans, you know. Much love, man.